It is April 1st, which is April Fool's Day, and I actually thought like a month ago, hey, Fanny, wouldn't it be funny if you did some really cool April Fool's Day prank? And I remembered I'm not funny. I've never done, I don't know, it's not happening. I'm not doing one, just not that funny, I guess. I don't know, I couldn't think of anything that was super clever. I was like, I'm going to sell at scalper prices. Nope. Not funny. Not funny. I'm just not a funny guy. So we're just going to record a normal video. We're going to talk about Pokemon card reprints and restocks and all the buzz that's going around and give you guys some actual information. It's cool. There's some restocks coming. It's not there yet. This is not it. This is not it yet. And we're going to explain why in just a second here. But first, this is a Journey Together Master Set. It's got everything in it. Every single card that you can pull from a booster pack is in this, every potential card is in this master set right here. Huge shout out again. People ask where these binders are from. This was made custom for us by the Unlucky Collector. If you're not following the Unlucky Collector on Instagram, do yourself a favor and follow him. He makes some banger binders, does all the etch work, puts the logo in the corner there. He just does a fantastic job. So he makes this, we give away a master set, every single set release, and he makes the binder for us, and then we put all the cards in it. And it can be kind of a pain, but Journey Together wasn't that bad. So we got it done. We're going to give it to one lucky subscriber. So hit that subscribe button down below. Then this is the video right here. You want to leave a like and a comment on this video. I'll also link it in the description, but leave a like and a comment on that video. Boom, you are entered. We're gonna announce the winner. Like 11 days, 2 weeks from, or in 2 weeks from last Friday. I don't know, it's like 11 days, somewhere around there. You guys, we'll keep, I'm sure I'll sell out a lot more. So we'll mention it properly then. But I want to talk about this. This is cool. So we've been talking before about Pokemon giving updates on the limited availability of Pokemon cards, right? It's just not there. Like, we're not getting, there's too much demand, not enough supply. And Pokemon, this is kind of their standard blurb, spiel that they've been putting out. They've been putting this out really since Shining Fates. Shining Fates was the first set that they kind of put this out. They ended up printing Shining Fates to the ground, which destroyed the value of it, and that's fine. Not every set needs to be super valuable, so that was fine. A lot of people got to crack Shining Fates, and people got sick of Shining Fates. And then things settled down, and here we are again. After the release of Surging Sparks, things went nuts again. Prismatic Evolutions was impossible to get, and now we have some rumored restocks that are coming, and Pokemon saw the release of Journey Together, which was also a problem, so they put this out again. And they said, okay, here we go again. We understand Prismatic was an issue. We know Journey Together is an issue, so we are going to do what we can to replenish stock. But this is kind of new right here. For new Pokemon TCG expansions launching in the future, we are maximizing production to increase product availability upon release. And we will continue to reprint impacted products to replenish stock at participating retailers, including Pokemon Center, as soon as possible. So this is all very interesting. Participating retailers, what does that mean? Does that mean just big box stores? Or does that mean like LGSs, online LGSs like myself? Pokemon Center, obviously that's kind of been a joke. But the idea of maximizing production to increase product availability upon release, you would think, okay, well, Destined Rivals is coming out fairly soon. Like, we've got a month and a half or so before we release Destined Rivals. A little over a month until pre-releases already start, middle of May. So what, 2 weeks, a month and 2 weeks until pre-releases start for Destined Rivals. Very, very exciting. Is that going to be included in this maximizing production line? Well, you can find out on the next episode of Fanny Dantump. I don't know when I'll get allocation numbers, but we'll let you know what allocation numbers look like. And if it looks like there's going to be more, that'll be very, very exciting. However, Gamestop, recently there's been a lot of information. PokeBeach put out an article. Huge shout out to John. John does great work. He's always on top of his game. Running PokeBeach, puts out great information. Head over to PokeBeach if you want to read the article. But Prismatic Evolutions in 151 restocks coming in May. So we've got Prismatic Evolutions Elite Trainer boxes, Prismatic Evolutions Tech Sticker collections, and even Prismatic Evolutions binder collections that are going to be coming out in May. Now, this is also interesting here because this is the accessory pouch right here. So this is a release date of May 16th. The binder collection has a re-release date of May 24th, and then the Tech Sticker and the Elite Trainer box May 10th for both of those. This one is interesting because it hasn't even released yet. We don't have this, I think, until, what is it, the end of April is the next release date for the accessory accessory pouch. So you would think then that they get product on the end of April, and then another restock of these accessory pouches that are coming on May 16th, could be. And then May 24th, you also have the Zapdos EX box, the 151 Zapdos EX box, which is also very cool because 151, anytime you get more product out there, that's awesome. Now, this is a little bit above MSRP. You can see $17.09 for Tech Sticker Collection, $56.99 for the Elite Trainer box. Now, these retail for $49.99, so MSRP is a little bit off of that. But GameStop has already said they're going to be selling above MSRP, and we have no idea what they're getting charged for any of this stuff. And the reason we don't have any idea is also because this is right now, GameStop is the only one, it seems, who has this information. So I don't know what this all entails because it is not coming to LGSs, at least not as of right now. So I talked to distribution yesterday, and this is just a couple distributors. I talked to 2 different ones yesterday. So my distributors have not heard anything. Now, they get updates weekly from Pokemon, and yesterday was obviously just Monday, so we're still very early on in the week. This could obviously change, but as of right now, the only restock, I think in John's article, he said we have no idea if this is related to online stores or to LGS stores at all. As of right now, it is not. So as of right now, the only place that is getting a restock of Prismatic Evolutions, unfortunately, is GameStop. What does that mean? I don't know. If they're not supposed to be selling any product until May 10th for Elite Trainer boxes, are they just saving up product until they have a decent amount? Are they continuing to get allocated amounts every week from Pokemon and they're just going to save them all up? I have no idea. I don't work for GameStop. I don't own GameStop. So I have absolutely no idea. Are they getting charged a higher price, or are they just kind of taking a little bit of additional advantage? I don't know that answer either. All I know is that as of right now, there is restocks coming, but it is just GameStop, which is unfortunate. Unfortunate because we want this to get reprinted. And I think stores also want it to get reprinted. I think even people who are investors, or even if you're you want more Prismatic Evolutions because it moves so well. I don't think we will ever get to a point where on the secondary market, Prismatic Evolutions is selling for MSRP. I just don't think that we are going to get there. However, I do think Pokemon can print enough that as long as you're patient, and again, this is High Horse Fanny telling you not to buy above MSRP, not to spend scalper dollars on your Prismatic Evolutions Elite Trainer box. First of all, pull rates are rough. It is very, very difficult. Yeah, you could get lucky, but it's very, very rough. If you pull a special illustration or chances are it's not going to be one of those evolutions that you're chasing, but you could get lucky. You could pull a God Pack. I know people who have only opened up a reel a little bit and pulled a God Pack. Sometimes you just get lucky. However, it is important to understand that as of right now, this is what we're looking at. It's just GameStop. I do believe that there will be large reprints coming. I just don't think this one is it yet. I don't think that this is going to be enough to satisfy demand yet, but that doesn't mean that there's not going to be in the future. And I do think that if you are patient, there will be better opportunities. Not guaranteeing that you're going to find one at MSRP, but there will be better opportunities where maybe you can find one at a big box retailer sitting on the shelf. You can catch a restock. The longer you wait, the more they reprint, the more they put out there, the greater your chance. Like, people have had their fill, like Destined Rivals comes out. People are focusing on that. Eventually, you might be able to find some at MSRP. Just I would not pay above MSRP on a set that just got printed. I just wouldn't do it. We have no idea what pricing is going to look like when those reprints come. Obviously, distros could charge way more than that. It does happen. But as of right now, this is my long-winded response saying that as of right now, it looks like this is just going to be exclusive to GameStop. But again, that could change literally today. I could get a message as I'm recording this, which I haven't yet. But I could get a message later on today saying, okay, it looks like Prismatic Evolutions. When that information becomes available to me, I will make sure to spread it to you because I do want you guys to make the best decision when it comes to spending your collection dollars. Here is the Elite Trainer box right here. What it's done over the past 3 months. You can see it's kind of leveled off a little bit. It's sitting at 136.67. It was at 150. That was right before release. It did drop down quite a bit to 106.50 at release, but now it's kind of leveled off a little bit. So it's hovering right around 136. Prismatic Evolutions booster packs still hovering right. This is the interesting part right here because we still have about a month before the next Prismatic Evolutions item comes out, and this is why it's so different than Journey Together, because Journey Together had a ton of releases all at once, whereas Prismatic Evolutions is kind of staggered, right? Like there's a few releases here, then a couple releases a month later, then a couple releases a month later. We are right at the point right now where booster bundles are kind of trying to hold us over until our next item gets released, which is just the accessory pouch, which comes at the end of April. So will this this creep up a little bit? Probably it will creep up a little bit over the next few weeks. You might see this go back up to like $13, $14, somewhere around there. Right now, booster packs of Prismatic Evolutions hovering right around $12.95, which is pretty much where it's been for the last few weeks. But again, we don't have a release now until the end of April. Scarlet and Violet 151 is coming down. This is the great thing about Scarlet and Violet 151 is this is exactly the set we're talking about as far as patience. Like, if you are patient, you might be able to find some 151 Blooming Waters continues to just pop up, you know, at random times across Costco's or across GameStops. If you look on your local GameStop, a lot of times they put that sheet on the door and they seem to keep getting Blooming Waters in stock. Booster bundles continue to pop up every once in a while. So I would not go crazy. Somebody asked me on stream last week how much the max I would pay for a 151 booster pack is. I would not even recommend paying above, I don't know, $8. I think $8 is even too high. Like, it's just, there is still more popping up, and it's really getting to the point where its reprint cycle is kind of ending. But because it is such a popular set and this giant surge of people started getting back into Pokemon recently in November, about a year after 151 released, it seems like Pokemon is willing to kind of go past that reprint window a little bit, not only because 151 remains in rotation for competitive play, but also because this giant influx of collectors has returned to the hobby or emerged into the hobby. They want to make sure that there is availability out there for people to enjoy cracking these packs. So you can see it's starting to come down a little bit. It was at $12.72. It's still up a little bit from where it was at the beginning of January, but these booster bundles, these Blooming Waters collection boxes, they continue to just kind of pop up. And now if GameStop does get a decent amount of Zapdos EX collection boxes, that could satisfy the pack market a little bit. You might see this come down a little bit more, where it can hit maybe that $8 mark. So be patient. If you really enjoy cracking 151, remember pull rates on it, very similar to what we saw with Paradox Rift. Not as bad as what you've seen in like Prismatic Evolutions, but not as good as what we saw in sets like Scarlet and Violet Base, Paldea Evolved, Obsidian Flames. Journey Together, we know is going to get another reprint. Unfortunately, we do not have a timeline for that. So Pokemon did communicate to distribution at Gamma that there would be an additional print run of Journey Together. As of right now, there is no time frame on it. However, it has fallen a lot, and we talked about this a couple weeks ago. We talked about the amount of Journey Together that's out there. I'm so happy with the amount of wins that I've seen. It seems like a lot of people have found at least some Journey Together to open up, whether it be sleeve boosters, 3-pack blisters, things like that. It seems like the idea that there is so much of it available, so many different things that are getting released, seems to help satisfy demand a little bit. And because it is a smaller set, very close to the size of Stellar Crown, even with pull rates changing, even with pull rates different from where they were at the beginning of Scarlet and Violet Base, pull rates seem to be strong enough. The variance factor seems to be strong enough that people are pulling a lot of chase cards and things like that, which is really, really good, because then you can kind of get your fill of Journey Together without having to spend too much above MSRP at all, which is really, really good. And because of that, Journey Together booster boxes are really falling in price, and then Elite Trainer boxes also falling in price, where they're getting closer to MSRP. So as long as Pokemon can continue to pop out some more product of Journey Together, and then we do get a big print run of Journey Together, we might see Journey Together drop down to MSRP or maybe just below MSRP. Unfortunately, Pokemon did not communicate if the enhanced booster box is going to be what is reprinted. Distribution seems to be assuming that that is the case. Take that with a grain of salt, though. You want to be careful with that. Obviously, the enhanced booster box, the idea that a promo comes in the booster box, so a box topper variant basically is what this is. They are assuming that distribution is assuming, okay, we think the enhanced booster box will be reprinted, but there's no confirmation from Pokemon. So I'm really not giving you any information, unfortunately, because Pokemon hasn't communicated any information to distribution. So take that with a grain of salt. Obviously, be very, very careful with your decision on that. Surging Sparks, we did get reprints of Surging Sparks. We talked about these. There was a lot of buzz about the reprints. I came out, I said, guys, it's very, very small. Distribution is saying it's not enough to give every customer even a case, and this is it. Surging Sparks has already come. The reprint has already happened for a lot of people. A lot of storefronts have already gotten them. A lot of distributors are selling it at a higher price point. As you can see here, the wholesale price on Surging Sparks booster boxes for the prices that I am able to buy from the two distributors that I have talked to yesterday, $200. $200 for a Surging Sparks booster box. That is nowhere near the original wholesale of closer to $90 or $95. This is $200. So not quite at market price, but very, very close to market price. You can see $250 $150 is the current going rate for a Surging Sparks booster box, and it really didn't take too much of a hit. It fell from $264 down to $250, but not enough to meet demand, unfortunately. Now, that doesn't mean that they're not going to reprint more. I do think they're going to continue to put more out there, but Pokemon is also looking at different things that they can do, like reprinting those booster bundles, which probably is a lot more inexpensive for them, a lot easier for them to do, and they can kind of pump out a lot of those, and then they can filter those off to big box retailers, which is why you see so many different big box retailers selling booster bundles and things like that, and getting restocks consistently of that. So we might see one big reprint of Surging Sparks down the road, but as of right now, this is not it. I don't think this is it. I think we're going to get a lot more at some point down the road, and it's all going to come at once. That's what we've seen in the past. Here's Twilight Masquerade, same thing. Wholesale price on this right now is $160. So really not great. Just about MSRP basically is what your local game store is probably going to be paying for a Twilight Masquerade booster box. Selling right now for about $207 is the current market price. Obviously, Twilight Masquerade, Surging Sparks, those are still sets that are going to be in rotation. Even when rotation hits in 10 days, these are going to continue to be in competitive play. So definitely sets that we're going to need out there. But again, Pokemon started putting out more like booster bundles and things like that you're going to see pop up at retail stores, big box retailers, when you do see restocks. So Twilight Masquerade has come. There's been boxes that have been distributed from wholesale distributors into LGS hands. It's just they might have only gotten a box. And what are you going to do with the box? Well, you put it on the shelf in your store, and that's pretty much it. Like, that's all you can really do for it. It's not enough for those brick and mortar LGSs to put some on the store and some online, because there's not enough. There's too many accounts and not enough product. Here is what we are getting. So this was the most recent restock update that was sent from Pokemon to distribution. There's not much, and there's not much when it comes to like booster boxes. Now, this will impact pack prices depending on the size of it, however, which is a good thing because pack prices are getting a little bit expensive. But you can see there's just not a whole lot there. So you've got 3-pack blisters for Scarlet and Violet base. Remember, there's 2 different variants of it. I just put up the Arcanine White right there. Obsidian Flames is getting a restock of Build and Battles. Obsidian Flames is getting a restock of 3-pack blisters. Then you have Temporal Forces Build and Battle kits and Temporal Forces Temporal Forces 3-pack blisters. You've got Build and Battle Stadiums for Paradox Rift. You've got 2 different variants of the trainer toolkits. Now, I call these restocks. I don't call these reprints. I think Pokemon is kind of finding product from other places, taking it back, maybe shifting stuff around from different warehouses. And this is like, okay, well, we've got a bunch of this that's left over in this warehouse overseas or in Canada or somewhere. We're going to be able to disperse some of these. And that's why you still have things like the trainer toolkit from 2023, which is that Arceus one right there, or the trainer toolkit from 2024, the Squawkabilly one right there. And then you have this Dark Powers EX box that's also getting a little bit more put out there. That's the one with Gengar EX on one side. You flip it around and you've got the Absol EX on the other side. It's something that's at least going to impact the pack prices a little bit. I was just talking before about pack prices kind of getting a little bit expensive. $5.55 for a Scarlet and Violet base booster pack. As you can see, over the last 3 months, it's jumped up about 50%. It was at $3.42 at the beginning of the year. It's climbed and climbed and climbed and climbed. Now, it's a little bit off of its 3-month high of $5.66, but still sitting at $5.55, still doing really, really well. Same thing with Obsidian Flames. Obsidian Flames continues to climb. Even though there's not a whole lot in the Obsidian Flames set, very small set with those stronger pull rates means that you can open up a decent chunk of Obsidian Flames and master the set without too much. You could probably pull an entire master set in 250 packs, which is really exciting, but the pack price continues to climb and climb and climb. You can see it's up about 81% over the last 3 months. At the beginning of the year, it was sitting at $3.69. Now it's sitting at $6.68, so about 81%. So having a little bit of additional product that has Obsidian Flames in it is going to help bring down the pack price, or at least level it off a little bit. Some of these pack prices are getting more expensive than the back half of Sword and Shield, which is very interesting. Here's Paradox Rift. This one also up 62.5%, sitting at $5.82 right now. You can see $3.58 at the beginning of the year. This stuff will still pop up in stores, but this should at least bring down the secondary market of price a little bit when it comes to online stores and things like that who are selling these. So Paradox Rift climbing a lot, and then Temporal Forces also moving up a little bit, up about 39% over the last 3 months. At the beginning of the year, it was sitting at $3.92. Now it's sitting at $5.48. It did dip a little bit down to about $4.20, but then continued to climb again. So having all these additional products, while it's not going to help with finding booster boxes and things like that, if you're somebody who really enjoys cracking packs, having something to do with your kids, maybe on a Friday night, this is what you do with your family, this should at least help that a little bit, which I think is really important because it is fun fun to open up Pokemon cards, and you create a lot of memories and nostalgia and things like that, which go a long way. And the artwork right now in the modern era is absolutely fantastic. Even with all the new Pokemon, I think it's just a lot of fun to do. And having the ability to at least have some products, which is going to help level off those prices, I think is really important until we start getting met with these massive reprints that Pokemon is talking about, or at least the additional maximum production to increase product availability. Hopefully we'll see more in Destined Rivals. But like I said, once we get allocation numbers for that, which should be sometime near the middle of April, maybe the end of April, somewhere around there. So a couple weeks away from that, I'll be able to give you that information so that way you can understand where we're looking at. We'll compare them to what we saw from Journey Together and see, okay, well, is there more coming than what we're used to, or is it kind of just leveled off, and we are going to have to wait until, middle of summer, end of summer, somewhere around there. So I wanted to give some extra information out there because I know John had talked about in PokeBeach in the article about the GameStop restocks that were coming for Prismatic Evolutions. It seems like right now it's not really applying to storefronts, but to brick and mortar stores, to LGS stores. But hopefully that does change, and we will get big restocks that we can then use to help satisfy demand, put more product out there at MSRP. I think that would be really nice, especially because a lot of stores didn't get nearly as much Prismatic Evolutions as they were probably expecting. So I wanted to put that information out there so that way you can make the best decision when it comes to spending your collecting dollars. I hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, please hit that subscribe button down below. Leave a like, leave a comment. I just really appreciate you guys being here. I love you. I'll talk to you again tomorrow with a stream, Thursday with another video. Till next time, peace!